In case you're not familiar with the film Moneyball, it relates to the world of baseball. It tells the true story of how the Oakland A's general manager Billy Beane used computer analysis and statistics to rebuild his team for the 2002 season. It's an intriguing David and Goliath story of how a team who struggles to compete under enormous financial constraints. Moneyball tells the story of what happens when a team is up against competitors with far deeper pockets. The Oakland A's, who had the third lowest payroll in the league, overcame huge obstacles and triumphed over clubs that had the luxury of selecting top-tier players. The narrative follows the story of when the Oakland A's lost its first team lineup, the team was left scrambling for replacements. Rather than going down the traditional route of recruiting methods and battling their competitors head-on, Beane, who was played by Brad Pitt, placed his trust in the new assistant, played by Jonah Hill. He would crunch the numbers and have an in-depth look at the statistics to determine the game's most undervalued players. Against all odds, he assembled a team of cranks and rejects that no one thought could succeed, including his own manager, who was played by Philip Seymour Hoffman. It was not an overnight success, and results for the Oakland A's were far from impressive. However, the value gradually became evident as the team trounced the much more fancied rivals. So to quote Google, the moral of this story is that data beats opinion. You may have opinions on the layout of your site, you may have opinions on what your customers want and where these customers come from. You may have opinions on what product catalogs should be the most visible on your site. However, our opinions stem from our beliefs, which are not always in tune with reality. Harvard psychologist David Perkins calls this the "this makes sense" rule. We take a position and we look for evidence to support this, and then we stop thinking. The danger is that we can disregard salient facts because they do not fit the narrative that we have in our heads. We see this all the time in politics, where we believe that everyone else is swayed by some type of ideology but not ourselves. We are completely impartial and rational. You can see this in a business sense all the time when companies make such terrible decisions that alienate their fans and customers. A far better way would be to let the data tell its own story. After all, the data does not come from thin air. This data is reflective of the opinions of your audience. These are the people who spend money on your site, so it's imperative that their needs and wishes are catered for. This is the most successful way for resonating with your audience. Use data to understand what they want and then give it to them.